Hi, I'm Roger Linn here in my home office, and I thank you for your interest in LinnStrument. With so few local music stores in the internet era, it is difficult to be able to play a LinnStrument before buying, something that is important when choosing a musical instrument. So in this video, I'm going to try to give you a close-up view of the construction and playing experience in an effort to try and give you as close as possible a feeling for actually playing one. So first, I'd like to tell you about the quality of the design and construction. LinnStrument is not another cheap plastic MIDI controller, but rather a quality musical instrument. LinnStrument's chassis is made from 14-gauge thick sheet aluminum. The top panel is made from 16-gauge sheet steel. The wood sides are hand-picked pieces of cherry wood, finished in a matte finish polyurethane. The circuit board that supports the playing surface is an extra thick 3/32 of an inch, ensuring that even under hard play it is rigid and doesn't bend. Also, LinnStrument's margins around the playing surface are very minimal, about 1 1/8 inches. So if you're a keyboard player who wishes to use your piano keyboard in front and use LinnStrument mainly for expressive soloing, it's easy to fit it behind your keyboard. Finally, I'd like to say that LinnStrument is manufactured in the USA in a factory just south of San Francisco. After each manufacturing run, I drive out and personally do a quality inspection and playing test of each unit to ensure its quality. Now let's take a close look at the playing surface. It is a single molded sheet of translucent silicone rubber. It's only 2 millimeters thick in order to transfer as much of your playing force as possible to the touch sensor below it, thereby maximizing the sensitivity to light touches. It compresses only slightly when pressed, enough to give a little tactile feedback, but not too spongy for fast rhythmic play. Technically, the rubber hardness is 40 durometer. The pads are 17 millimeters square, spaced 19 millimeters center to center, just like the average spacing of human fingers. The pads are separated by a 2 millimeter wide, 1/2 millimeter deep trough. This is deep enough so that you can easily feel where the pads are, but not so deep as to impede your pad-to-pad pitch slides. The surface is coated with a matte finish polyurethane, ensuring smooth pitch slides, yet with enough friction to hold vibratos in place and easily slow down and land on the intended pitch at the end of a slide. To reduce dependence on the lights, there's a braille-sized bump in the center of all C pads. This allows you to easily recognize them by touch, and therefore any other pitches in relation to C. But they're small enough that they don't affect your pitch slides and can be easily ignored if you don't want to use them. Now, the internal touch sensor is highly sensitive to light touches. Only 50 grams of force is required to trigger a note. You can simulate this by taping 2 AA batteries together and then resting it in your palm. That will allow you to feel the amount of force that's required to trigger a note. This is sensitive enough to capture very light playing, but still lets you lightly rest your fingers on the pads without having them accidentally trigger. I'd like to talk a little about the playing experience. As I mentioned, the pads are spaced at the average spacing of human fingers. This makes it easy to play common chords and scales. If I had made the pads larger, for example, closer to the size of clip launcher pads or drum pads, it would have been too difficult to reach common chords. For example, here's a C major 7th, or another fingering of C major 7th. That's one thing worth mentioning, by the way. Because of LinnStrument's isomorphic design and string-oriented pitch arrangement, a given pitch is available on multiple rows, just like a given pitch is available on multiple strings on a stringed instrument. So you have a variety of ways to voice a chord. And notice that it is because of this arrangement, when the rows are all tuned in fourths, which is the default condition, that the keyboard is isomorphic. So for any given scale, it's the same fingering in all 12 keys. Here's a major triad. No matter where I play it on the surface, the major triad has the same fingering. Same for scales. Here's a major scale. Here it is in another key. That makes it very easy to play by relative pitch instead of absolute pitch as on a piano, because of course on a piano, when you have a major triad, it has a different fingering in each of the 12 keys. Well, I hope this gives you a better feeling for what it's like to play a LinnStrument. If you have more questions, please check my site's LinnStrument product page, including the specifications section, or the LinnStrument FAQ page pre-sales tab, or any of the other many pages accessed from the LinnStrument support page. Also, please take a look at any of the 3 compilation videos of best LinnStrument performances. There are some wonderful players out there in the world. Among the, at this point, in early 2024, 4,600 plus LinnStrument players in the world. I thank you for your interest in LinnStrument, and I look forward to hopefully welcoming you into the community of LinnStrument players at some point in the future. Thank you.